You're going to lick the peanut butter off my balls.
I'm going to call you Tootsie because I like a dog.
I don't know why we're in the 50s all of a sudden.
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
That's how shit happened in the 50s. Porn. Dude, I was thinking about, no joke, I was thinking about today. I was like, in like 40 years, there's going to be so much retro amateur porn.
Well, you mean, you do have that classic 70s male porn star mustache.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I do. You're right. I call it the pedo. Because you want to pet it. And I like kids. No, I'm just joking. That's a joke. You fucking better keep that all in there.
Welcome to the Basement Lounge Podcast with your hosts Mike Shea and Mike Wells. Sit back, grab a drink, relax. Let's see where the time takes us. Enjoy.
Wow, West was horrible.
Oh, it's awful. It's like unwatchably bad.
That might kill Kevin Kline's career.
Pretty much. I mean, he wasn't in anything like big again after that. He's worked, but like not as a leading man ever again.
I feel like that was their John Carter.
Ugh. Yeah, we talked about John Carter last week when Andrew was on here too. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but yeah, John Carter sucks so hard. But yeah, Kevin Kline, because we talked about Kevin Kline last week too. It's like I remember when he was in fucking everything. He did, and just then after that, nothing. So it was a bummer. I like Kevin Kline a lot.
He was a great actor.
Actually, to bring this whole episode conversation full circle, the one thing he's got going for him right now is he's Mr. Fish Odor on Bob's Burgers.
Is he really?
That's Kevin Kline.
Shit.
Next time you watch it, listen to the voice. You're going to be like, fuck.
Huh, I wonder how I got that.
Dude, have you ever looked up the casting on IMDb for that show? Mm-mm. It is just a who's who of fucking comedy all-stars on Bob's Burgers.
That's because people would just want to be on it or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's an easy gig because you don't have to come up with a character. And also the writing is just really fucking good. Yeah. But I mean, like Sarah Silverman and her sister are the two twins.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows is Mike the Mailman, for fuck's sake.
That dude's done so much.
Oh, I love Tim. I forget who I was talking about Tim Meadows with the other day. We were talking about him doing like The Ladies Man and when he was on SNL. Fucking love Tim Meadows because I think it's because he's on the Goldberg show as like a teacher or something like that.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's one of the teachers.
He was on SNL forever. He was the longest running member up until Keenan.
Yeah, I think him and because Keenan was tied. Leslie Jones was on that list too.
Leslie was on that long?
No, I mean she was one of the longest running people on there. Then I think Keenan beat her.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, she was on there for fucking ever.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But yeah, Tim Meadows, because he was a part of that original like David Spade, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley crew.
Yeah.
And was on there until I want to say the 2000s. I mean, he was on there for a long fucking time.
Yeah, I think he outlasted Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Will Ferrell wasn't on there as long as I think a lot of people.
No, he was just he was so funny on there, and then immediately they were like,
he made him an overnight star, and then also that's the season that gets like replayed on cable all the time. But it was only for like I want to say like 5 years, something
like that.
I
want to say 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, grand scheme of the show, he wasn't on there that long. I mean, 5 years steady on TV is pretty good, no matter who you are. But
still, one of my favorite bits is American flag wearing.
Oh my god, with the Speedo.
Yeah, it's still one of my fucking favorite bits ever.
Every time I love watching the compilations of like SNL actors like breaking, and that's always like,
you go down. Horatio's like,
oh my god, Horatio. I think I think because it's him
and Fallon cracked.
Fallon cracked all the fucking time.
That was just his. I feel like they wrote that in the thing.
I almost felt like they were like, you don't try too hard not to laugh.
Yeah.
Because like it was funny when Fallon cracked. As often as he did it, it was funny when he cracked. But because Amy Poehler's in the sketch too, and I think she's the first one to break.
He grabs her by the fucking like.
Because I think for her, it's like when she finally turns around and sees it, I think she just.
Or Rachel Dretch with Debbie Downer, and she's trying to say all the shit, and she's like,
well, I used to, and I think we've talked about this, but it always made me laugh because they would always say when that sketch aired, like like, this is a recording of a rehearsal. We couldn't ever get it to work. So this is just like the best rehearsal we had. Because it's too funny. It's too fucking funny. Oh, that one, and that one always made me laugh my fucking ass off. Weekend Update was always my favorite thing, though. No matter who was hosting it, I've always loved. Even back when it was fucking Dan Aykroyd and Jane. Fuck, I forget her last name.
Yeah.
But they'd get in the debates, and he would go, "Jane, you ignorant slut."
Yeah. God, there's been so many great fucking people on that.
Oh yeah, and which kind of bums me out because like,
have you seen the list of people who tried out that didn't make it?
No,
like that's like Kevin Hart tried out and didn't get on.
Did he really?
Yeah, like the list is like fucking insane. Like of all the people that like tried out and just never got on.
Well, that was one of Downey Jr.'s first acting gigs. He was on that like first season because he only ever did one season. He was on like that first season of SNL.
Like I think CK tried it.
Well, I know CK was writing behind the scenes.
I want to Google this.
That's actually a really good question. Yeah, but whatever happened to Horatio Sands?
He lost a ton of weight.
I know that. Yeah, but yeah, I've never. That's actually a good point. I've never looked up who didn't get on SNL. That's really cool. When I found, I never saw the season with Downey Jr., so he was on like Howard Stern talking about it, and I was like, when the fuck was he on SNL? It was that first season.
31 famous people rejected by Saturday Night Live. Okay. Jim Carrey.
Real? Well, that's how he got in Living Color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do Jim Carrey. All right. Steve Carell.
Wow.
Yeah. Donald Glover.
Shut the fuck up. They passed on Donald Glover.
Paul Rubens.
Fucking Pee-wee?
Mm-hmm. Stephen Colbert.
That one I had heard. Yeah, because he was at Groundlings the same time as like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza.
Wow.
Zach Galifianakis. I didn't know about Zach.
Really?
Yeah, I think he would just be too weird.
Yeah, he does better not with a script.
Kevin Hart.
That's fucking weird.
David Cross.
Whoa.
John Goodman. I didn't know he tried out.
John Goodman tried out for SNL. He would have been great.
Lisa Kudrow.
Okay, I feel like Conan talked about that on his final episode.
Kathy Griffin. Adam McKay. Wow.
Adam McKay, really?
Yeah. Dave Attell. I didn't know David.
Well, he ended up being, I know he did end up being a writer because he was writing at the time that Conan and Farley were there.
Mark Maron.
Wow.
Jennifer Coolidge. You know who that is?
Oh, Stifler's mom?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the one thing I know.
Jeff Ross.
Whoa, okay.
Paul Scheer.
Oh, I love his podcast with Manzukis.
Jack McBrayer.
Oh, from 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kel Mitchell. Oh, that's a low.
That hurts.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is all these names you're saying, but so many of them still ended up with shit on NBC.
I don't know these people and I can't even pronounce their names. So
what is it?
It's the other two. Jorma Taccone and Akko Schaefer. Oh, the Lonely Island cohorts.
Oh, okay. So, Akko Schaefer sounds familiar. Yeah.
Dave Foley, Scott Thompson, Bruce McCollum, Kevin McDonald.
Holy shit.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis tried out for SNL.
Richard Belzer.
I love Richard Belzer.
Robert Townsend.
Wow.
I can never pronounce his last name. Rob Hubel.
Is it?
I can never pronounce his last name for sure.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last, Carrie Kenny.
I don't know who that is.
Reno 911 star.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Oh, she's funny.
And that list, I mean, that's an impressive list.
That's a big list. That's a list of big talent.
I know.
Which kind of, I guess, makes you go like, what are they looking for?
Yeah, really.
Because there are sometimes I'll see people on there who I don't like, and I'll think like, man, who did they turn away to give this person a job? Apparently, they turned away fucking Kevin Hart.
thing is, would Kevin Hart be where he is if it wasn't for, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And you got to think about that type of stuff too. It's like where Jim Carrey been where he's at.
Yeah. No. I mean, Living Color is what put him on.
Jim Carrey. I mean, that's fucking like.
He could also like the kind of stuff that Jim Carrey like did on Living Color and is able to do. He couldn't have done on SNL. Man, what a list! Jim Carrey, Kevin Hart, Gina Davis, John Goodman. Man, just great talents out there who didn't quite make the cut on Saturday Night Live. Are there any that maybe we missed that you know of you'd like to tell us about? Or just what do you think of the list in general? Who are some of those names you think would have absolutely killed it on Saturday Night Live? Let us know. Go to our website, tblpod.net, and click the little blue microphone. Leave us a voice message and let us know. And hey, we'll share it on the show next week.
It's a double-edged sword. Like, what could have been, or like, would have really that person ever gone that far?
Right. Like, what would this have done for their career?
Yeah. So it is fucking wild to think about.
I remember like early 2000s, Comedy Central was doing the 100 greatest stand-ups. It was like a mini series. It was like a whole week every day they'd count down like 100 to 90 or something like that. And they showed early, and they had clips of these people too that like you probably can't find on YouTube now. And it was like early clips of Carrie doing stand-up. Or Leno doing stand-up. And holy shit, they were funny.
Yeah. Well, Carrie was
on fucking laugh riot.
I feel like a lot of stand-ups are great actors. That just...
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've said for years, I think Dane Cook's a better actor than a comedian.
Mm-hmm. He was great in Mr. Brooks.
Oh my God, he's so good in Mr. Brooks. Good Luck Chuck made me laugh my ass off. I even liked Employee of the Month. Mostly for Dak Shepard, but you know.
He was good in he played the brother in the Steve Carell movie.
Oh,
he was good in that.
Dan in Real Life.
Yeah,
he was very good in that. Yeah, he's a really good actor. Oh, well then fucking it's a bit part, but it's really good. Is the one dude in Waiting, the cook?
Yeah, the
tattoos and shit. He was fucking great. Yeah, no, he's a great actor. I mean, it's not that he's not a funny comedian. Like, if you watch, it was like his fourth album, I think, his fourth special / album, and it was just him at the Comedy Store, just doing. It wasn't him in a big arena. It wasn't him in a theater. It was just him at like the store, just in the main room, and just doing like regular traditional stand up, and it was some of the funniest shit I'd ever heard in my life. And it's
I feel like with Dane Cook is he got so big that like
he got big fast.
Well, he got big fast, but like he had to have that like energy, like all that, like be like on all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And seems like the kind of guy who always has to top the last thing he did.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it just became a bit.
I do feel bad because his brother fucking destroyed
him.
him.
My God. Yeah. His brother fucked him so hard. Holy shit. Well, and then also, you know, he lost both of his parents in the same year.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. His mom, so he did his first big Madison Square Garden special, the first one, Vicious Circle, and his mom was already sick. And I guess they didn't realize at that point she had cancer. So his mom died of cancer, and then like 6 months later, his dad died. And I guess like him and his dad had kind of a weird relationship, but like, yeah, he lost both of his parents in a year. And then all the shit with his brother goes down. And then I know a couple of years ago, everybody was giving him shit because like he was dating a drastically younger woman, which I didn't realize, like Dane Cook's like over 50.
Yeah. I mean, but like if she's over a certain age.
Yeah. I mean, who gives a fuck? Well, because at one point his one girlfriend that he had for like 10 years or whatever, like she's on the Torgasm dude. She's on that. And she's in his Vicious Circle thing like that. I guess like she had like tried out for like American Idol or some shit. And I guess when she didn't make it, like she like started like just like bashing him, saying like, I can't get anywhere because he's like, because I dated Dane Cook, I'm getting blacklisted. It's like he has no pull at American Idol. Shut the fuck up.
Where do you have pull on anything anymore?
Yeah, at that point, Dane Cook's light had fizzled hard. I was like, Dane Cook doesn't have pull anywhere. There's a reason that when they do the stand up for cancer things, he's in the back answering phones, not one of the people hosting.
One weird thing about him too is like he doesn't drink or do drugs, which is crazy.
Super straight edge.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's, I mean, you grow up in Boston when he did. I think you kind of see a lot of that shit. And so you probably either follow suit or avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, plus he's, you know, he's tight with, you know, Gary Gulman and Bob Kelly and because they were all on that Torgasm together, which is how I found out about. I mean, I love Torgasm for two reasons. One, it's a great comedy. It's a great stand-up documentary, but getting introduced to Robert Kelly and Gary Goldman, especially, because Gary Goldman was my favorite out of all of them, because Gary Goldman's fucking brilliant comedy.
He's a great joke writer.
I love, was it 2 years ago he was doing that thing on Twitter, like every day he wrote a new writing tip, which was fan. I have so many of those books.
Because the one joke, his, was it the States joke?
Oh, the naming of the states
took like years for him to write.
That is, I mean, because he was in Joker.
Yeah.
He's the comic that Joaquin Phoenix is watching on stage, doing his own bits and just made them work for, set in the fucking 80s. And yeah, Goldman as a writer, that naming the state abbreviations bit, I mean, that is one of the funniest, most clever. Like, it's one of those, like, you hear the topic and you're like, holy shit, how did I not think of that? And it's so well written. That guy isn't, but he's been on like Tamron Hall and shit in the last year, because depression hit him hard, and like he's talked about like how he met his wife and how much she helped with that, and you see a lot of that in the Torgasm DVD, because at one point he bails off the tour because it gets to be too much for him. He's gone for like 2 or 3 days before he comes back because he just couldn't fucking take it.
Really?
Yeah, because that's when he was really going through a lot of his shit. It just wasn't really included on the documentary, because the documentary was about like the shows. They were doing 20 shows in 30 days.
Yeah.
And which is insane to even think about. But
that sold out.
Yeah, all sold out, and they were all like fucking college arenas and shit. And not only that, but like what that did for Goldman's career, Kelly's career, and Jay Davis, who was like the host opener of all the shows, like what that did for him as well. I mean, so yeah. This all comes back to, Dane Cook's all right. But like he's still doing like, early slots at the Comedy Store and stuff. Like, it's not like he's selling out theater tours right now,
I am interested. I do want to see his new. I know he's trying to work on an hour and do a special, and I am interested to see it.
I've never gotten to see him personally. I'd love to go.
One of my favorite like halftime specials is the original Comedy Central special. I just love that special.
Oh, it's so fucking funny.
It is.
I loved that if you bought that first album, both of his first 2 albums both came with DVDs.
Yeah.
And the first one came with the DVD. It had his half-hour special, and then it also had the full unedited hour as well, which again is just another 30 minutes. Like, not all of it works, because people still weren't kind of used to him yet at that point. But that half hour is so fucking funny,
so good.
Oh my! Especially when he ends ripping his pants off and shit, and
I just he was one of the very few ones that like. I feel like he was a comic that people started to quote a lot when I was in not just in in high school. Like, I remember one time I was at my first job and this guy was blatantly ripping off a Dane Cook bit.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh God.
I remember
on a date too, and I was like, you're pressing this lady with a Dane Cook bit right now.
Well, that was when I started doing stand up the year that like the year that what was his second album, Neverlution, came out. That was the year I had started doing stand up, and I mean, I would go to mics all the time and people were just ripping off Dane Cook bits all the time. It was like being back in the 60s where everybody would watch, Don Rickles on the Tonight Show and then go do his bit at the bar the next night. And Dane Cook made stand up a household entertainment again. Nobody was talking about stand-ups anymore at that point.
No, he brought it to the forefront when he did. Like, there's no denying that. Like,
when I look at like the chain reaction of events of like the last 20 years, kind of in that era of when he was first coming up, like you look at how Louis C.K. was able to self-produce his special and sell it online for $5, make $1 million in a weekend. You look at how Netflix has how everybody talks about how Netflix is the place to go for comedy specials and stuff like that, where Comedy Central stand-up has a extremely popular TikTok account posting stand-up clips. And keep in mind, Comedy Central doesn't show stand-up anymore.
Yeah.
Which is another topic altogether, because they used to do it every Friday night. None of like the stuff I've just mentioned, had Dane Cook not brought stand-up back into the forefront again, because he would go host SNL. I remember when people were chanting like, let him host SNL. And he went up And it wasn't like he went up and did a monologue. He went up and like did bits.
Yeah.
They gave him a microphone and he like did new jokes. It's like no other comedian was doing that, hosting SNL. Like stand up was his thing. And he was really riding that hard and keeping the stand up conversation going, because it still took several years for there to be any other comics. Because like we had the Blue Collar Comedy Tour and stuff around that same time too.
Yeah.
But like for people to start actually talking about comedians again, Dane Cook he brought it back, but then he was also it for a while. Mm-hmm. There weren't any other like we had Last Comic Standing, and Last Comic Standing lasted a good long while after that. But with the exception, like name anybody who won Last Comic Standing that anybody's still talking about right now.
That one.
Josh Blue's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And there's kind of but they mostly talk about him as the guy with cerebral palsy that won, not the really funny comedian that won, But so I know people love to hate on Dane Cook. I know he's kind of like the Nickelback of stand up, but
his stand up's fucking funny.
He's fucking funny. Yeah. Is some of it a little outrageous and just kind of weird? I mean, yeah, sure. But
have you heard my jokes?
Man, Dane Cook, say what you want, love him or hate him. You can't deny the impact he had on comedy, especially for guys in my generation who were getting started when we did. What do you guys think? Were you a Dane Cook fan when he was big, or are you still a Dane Cook fan? Like, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? And, what do you think about the evolution of Dane Cook's career? Let us know. Go to our website, tblpod.net, and hit the little blue microphone and leave us a voice message. Let us know what you think. We'll play it on the show next week. I'm dying to tell this story because I didn't tell on last week's show. So we went to a baseball game. We went to the Charleston River Dogs.
I saw you post.
Which was cool. I mean, Dragons are better, and the River Dogs suck. I mean, they were terrible. But it was cool to go to a game again. Well, we're behind home plate and kind of like a little bit on first base side, and I'm thinking like, we're not going to get any foul balls. I didn't bring my glove. I was like, no, every other fucking ball was going over our head. So finally one of them comes down, bounces off the railing, and lands like right in the aisle next to where we're sitting. So my 80-year-old grandmother's sitting over there trying to get the ball. Well, there's this family sitting on the other end of our row who have just been dicks the entire time. And so while we're trying to help grandma locate the ball, this family's 5-year-old runs over, goes under my grandma's legs, grabs the ball, and runs back.
Jesus.
And I was like, I've never hit a kid before, but I'm going to kick this kid's ass. Holy shit. His parents are like, good for you, son. Good for you. And I'm like, your son's going to grow up to not eat pussy.
Yeah. So
that's my gauge for everything.
Damn, that's really fucked.
And we all just kind of looked, because they were being dicks the whole time we were there. They were like, I thought we were supposed to have the whole row. We're like, well, we have tickets that say otherwise, so go fuck yourself. So like they kept like bleeding over into where we were supposed to be sitting, and we kept having to ask them to move the fuck back down. And
really?
Yeah.
What a fucking twat.
Yeah, the whole family was a bunch of cunts. And so when he took the ball, I just kind of watched him run back, and I was like, I'm going to kick this kid in the face.
So you're not allowed out of that stadium anymore?
I'm not allowed at that stadium at that more. They have my picture on a poster at the front gate.
With your foot in some kid's face. See, pedophile mustache likes kids. Mike doesn't like kids.
I don't like kids. I don't like kids, and I really don't like that fucking kid. That's one of those kids that I hope someday I see on like America's Most Wanted. Like, I know that kid. He steals baseballs from old ladies. Fuck that kid.
It's called the baseball murderer.
He murders people with that baseball. I stole this from an old lady. I use it to murder people. I apologize for nothing. I'm sorry. That kid was a dick. What do you guys think? Should I have punched the kid? Should I have kicked the kid in the face? Nah, just kidding. But no, seriously, like, are those parents just raising the next like world's biggest douchebag? I don't know. What do you guys think? tblpod.net. Click the blue microphone, leave me a voice message, and let me know if you think I'm overreacting or not. I'm just saying, I love my grandma. All right, and I love baseball, and I hate that kid.
And Conan retired, and
yeah, I watched. Well, he ended his show.
Yeah, he's not retired, but
he's going to be doing like a variety show or something on HBO. He's not doing the talk show thing anymore. But he's going over to HBO Max. But yeah, he. I watched the last episode. It was good. Fucking Jack Black, man.
Was he good on it?
Oh, he was great because they were supposed to do like this big whole like number or something, and then when they were doing the rehearsal the day before, Jack Black fucking like broke his foot. So he comes out like on a fucking cane because the way the number was supposed to. He said it was really fucked up because the way the number was supposed to end was he was supposed to fake getting hurt. And they were going to have him carted off in an ambulance. It was all supposed to be staged. Well, then he actually fucking broke his foot. And they're like, well, thank God we have the ambulance on standby.
Jesus.
But he came out and he sang the song "I Did It My Way" for Conan and fucking killed. He was funny as shit. And
I saw Paul Rudd's last the greatest running gag in late night history.
with the
Mac
alien.
and me.
Yeah.
My favorite part, like I showed Melissa, like I was like, this is the greatest running gag like of all time. And she's like, at first she's like, this is stupid. Then she's like into it by like the 20th time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's so many years of
It's like 20 years they've been doing that gag. Because it goes all the way back to when, because it was like the same time, because for the longest time, Will Arnett and Jason Bateman would alternate going on Conan and roasting each other, like talking shit. And it was like, that first time they did that, I think was also the same time that Paul Rudd brought that out. And they did that for Ant-Man and fucking Avengers. And it's a best running gag.
My favorite part was that he's like, okay, I wanted to show you the video I was gonna pick.
Right.
And then just the fucking thing. And I'm like, yes.
And every time Conan's just like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
And I wonder if like studios have gotten pissed off at him about that.
I think at first probably, but I think because it's such a, because like they did it for Ant-Man, but then they did actually eventually show. And I think because it just builds into Paul Rudd's star power at this point, I think they just roll with it. Also, like it's like, again, with Ant-Man, it's Disney. They're not hurting for that.
No.
Like whether or not they show a clip on Conan isn't going to hurt the movie.
No.
So,
I'm pretty sure you'll see it on every fucking...
Yeah, and everything else he makes is for Judd Apatow, who couldn't give a fuck.
Fuck, God, no. I was so happy they got him on one last time. He did that one last time with Bill Hader on the fucking...
Yeah.
Bill Hader's losing his mind.
Fucking love Bill Hader so much.
He's losing his mind because he can't believe it's so true.
Oh my God. Can you imagine like getting to go to Conan and like not only is it like Conan's like, last week, whatever, and you get to be there for the final Paul Rudd bit. Oh.
No, Paul Rudd is like, he just doesn't age.
No, the man's a vampire. It's like him, Keanu.
Definitely does.
Those two fucking, I don't think Oprah ages. Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, like fucking what's the movie with Alicia Silverstone? Clueless was on TV the other day, and I'm like, he looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't think he has kids. No, he has kids.
Yeah,
he
he's
does
got
have
kids.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Basement Lounge. If you guys want to know more about the show or get more involved in any way, shape, or form, head on over to our website, tblpod.net. That's tblpod.net. Leave us a rating and review on the reviews page and click the little blue microphone to send us a voice message. Let us know what you thought of today's show and share your thoughts on what we talked about. We'll see you guys again in next week for a brand new episode. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. is when they drop. Until then, as always, live well, rock on, take care, and bye-bye.